Hello and welcome to Flippin Through the Internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we are flipping through Mad Magazine number 128, released January 1969. Our price, 35 cents, which is indeed cheap. But before we get into that, I have a few things, some housekeeping. First off, shout out to my Patreons on Patreon. Patreon.com/flippinthrough. Check it out in the link below. Rod Mead Sperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Kyle Bridget. If you think this show is worth your money, consider stopping by. Just doing a little donation. Can be $1, $5, whatever you feel comfortable doing. If just the mere thought of giving me your money makes you physically ill, just hit like, hit subscribe, and share this out with somebody. Leave a comment below, all right? So you make me sick. Leave that as a comment if that's how you feel. Anyway, few things. First off, what's this? This is MAD issue number 26. And why is this significant? This is, this was the impetus for the Potter-Zeeby system of weights and measures, which was developed by Donald Knuth, who I had on the show. I did an interview with him. I'm going to be editing that and posting it shortly, but I had this out just for that occasion. Anyway, let's get into this issue. Anyway, I'm never going to get that. Why did I pick this issue? I saw somebody posted it. Somebody posted on a Facebook group or on Instagram or something, and I love it. You know, this is like, I love it because of the, like, for me and people of my age, it's amusing, but I don't ever have memories of writing things on blackboards as a punishment, as like a punitive thing. I think they had blackboards when I was a kid, but, you know, we never had to do stuff like this. So it's amusing to me, that type of trope. And it's really pretty artwork. The way like the MAD logo is colored in there, and also his face. Makes me wonder, I don't know who BC is. Makes me wonder how they did this. If they actually did it with like pastels or something. And this is great. I will never read MAD in class again. I'll never read MAD in class again. And then I will never read class in MAD again. I will never read class in MAD. I think that's pretty cute. And then right down here, the touch of the 3 colors of chalk that are used on it appear on the chalk rail, and some lovely erasers. I don't know. I'm just, it's just a cool cover. And I like the use of black. I think the last cover that I talked about with a lot of black on it, I think it was that sex cover. And there are a few. I wonder, like, if they're like, what are the blackest covers of MAD magazine? That'd be like a list that almost nobody would be interested in examining. So this is the Hawk's Eye view of the United States. When was this? 1969. So towards the end of the Vietnam War. And so we have it. Just look at how Vietnam just tucks in there, just nice and neatly. The artist is Bob Clark, which is interesting to me. He's an illustrator. He's a cartoonist, and he's created this map. This map, which makes New Mexico very slim. I get having to distort these states, but what's up with New Mexico? Very slim and tall. Anyway, I'm just kind of curious that it was Bob Clark. I wouldn't have guessed that. Here we have, I'm going to center that so we can zoom in a little bit. Mini skirts are getting so short these days, there's probably more cotton in the top of a bottle of aspirin. Alfred E. Newman. It's because they're made of polyester. Who knew Alfred E. Newman was a prude? Who knew? All right, what else do we have? We have the vital features, the guru of ours. I have no idea what this is. Probably Mort Drucker, though. MAD's Nature Study Guide. So we have photographic art. Would that be Irving Schild that did those? I don't know. Who would have done this sort of decoupage? The lighter side of amusement parks. Obviously, Dave Berg. Greeting cards to newlyweds we'd like to see. Don't know. A peek behind the scenes at a laundry or dry cleaner. My guess is Jack Davis. And right here, who is this? I know who this is, but I can't. Anyway, a mad look at 2 college generations. These are always pretty amusing, like the 2 generation things, because thankfully it's not. When they made these, it wasn't exactly like an us versus them thing. I feel like, it's not just like, how like everybody like dumps on millennials, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a millennial, but it's like fairly objective, right? Everybody busts on millennials. And it's like there's sort of that thing where it's like every generation is worse than the one before, right? I never got that sense with these comparative generation things because it goes back and forth. They're mocking them both. Let's get into some of these letters. I love the letter department. Keep doing that the wrong way. I am curious, does anybody else care about these letters? Here we go. Typical success story. Oh no, this is the one I wanted. Anyway, if you guys like, I don't know, I don't get a ton of feedback on the videos. I get a lot of people watching them, a lot of people liking it. But if you have like feedback, like things that you want me to focus on more than I do, or focus on less on things that I already do, let me know. Let me know, please. I think that Sergio Aragones's drawn out dramas are the best in your magazine. I laugh so much at these little marginal cartoons that I never get around to reading the rest of the magazine. From E. Myers in Winnetka, Illinois. Well, that was just a nice thing. What is that? I don't like these. How about this? I strongly resent. Here we go. Resentment. That's what I like to see in letters. I strongly resent your derogatory references to the bassoon in your typical success story of the past. As the second bassoonist in the Taylor Allardyce High School Band, I have already given the bassoon a bad enough name, and there was no need to say that a bassoonist requires a big mouth. The students at Taylor Allardyce High School have already discovered that fact. Holy shit. Steven Seagal from Pittsburgh, PA. I'm going to look this guy up. That would be so weird. Oh my goodness. I wonder if I'll come across, has anybody famous been published in Mad Magazine? Like, obviously, that was a dumb question. In the letters column of Mad Magazine. I wonder if anybody famous. The guru of ours, artist Mort Drucker, writer Frank Jacobs, is that Tiny Tim? Every year, The Wizard of Oz is shown on television, and every year, millions of viewers are enchanted by the story of a teenage girl who loses touch with reality, takes a wild trip, and meets a lot of way-out characters. In 1939, when the movie was made, it was called a fantasy. Today, it would be real. And so, with many apologies to the Scarecrow, the Tin Woodsman, and the Cowardly Lion, MAD presents an updated version of The Wizard of Oz, namely, The Guru of Ours. All right. All right. So we have Tiny Tim, and who is this? Is this a famous actress? Is this supposed to be somebody? Dorothy, you're a disgrace. Last week, we caught you smoking bananas behind the barn. Yesterday, you tried to organize a love-in at the 4-H club. And today, you and the hired hands sang anti-establishment songs and burned down the outhouse. Your uncle was furious. Furious? Why? Because he was inside at the time, smoking bananas. Is that a reference to the anarchist cookbook? Oh, look at here's Jaffe snuck in there. I gotta zoom in. I don't think you can really see that. So we have Love Me, Protest. Oh, Jaffe, Muskie. Is there anything else hidden in that psychedelic thing? And here we have a lovely rendition. Someday with an insane glow, I'll get high and I'll freak out. My brain starts to petrify. Oh, that's lovely. Someday, with an insane glow, I'll turn on, and the trip I'll be taking will mean my mind is gone. Someday I hope that I'll be hooked on something better than a cooked banana. Yeah, in the anarchist cookbook, they said if you fry banana peels or something, you can smoke them and get high. Not that I ever tried it. My buddy tried it, though. So anyway, this is just a silly... I wonder, this is like the precursor to The Wiz, starring Michael Jackson and Diana Ross and everybody. Right? Look, there's a butt. And look, there's Ed. I forget his name. Here we have On a Sunday Afternoon by Don Martin. Oh my gosh. So here we have that a MAD nature study guide. This is bizarre. This is weird. Conceived by Max Brandel, writer Frank Jacobs, but no art stuff. It must have just been, I guess, the art department that was doing it. Photos by UPI Worldwide, which is, I think, an old-timey version of that one now. Like Grendel? What is that? But anyway, Max Brandel conceived a lot of children. Ideas. I want to look him up too, because I feel like almost exclusively he is the idea guy. And so we have, I think this is Jane Fonda. Is that Hanoi Jane? The Blue Jane, exhibitionist flauntus. Because of her... Let's zoom in a little bit. Because of her blue characteristics, it is not surprising that the Blue Jane is considered a rather off-color bird. Once native to the United States, she now flits about the world, spreading her wings and making wild, unpredictable flights. Several times a year, she sheds her feathers in public, which causes a great sensation for the Blue Jane. This seems to be the bare necessity. Small wonder that she is one of the great favorites of bird watchers everywhere. I don't know. I guess did she get naked or something? The Agnew, right? Because that's like there's a new blunderous politicus, the Gila monster, Bob Dylan, Oracus incomprehensibus. Oh my goodness, these are great. The hippopotamau, with China's place in the world now. I think this is appropriate to read the hippopotamau. The hippopotamau is a fearsome beast who lives by himself behind a curtain of bamboo. Full of fears and suspicions, he bellows constantly about his most hated enemy, the sly Chiangaroo, Taiwanus offshorus. Because of the immense size of the hippopotami, he has a ravenous appetite and will attack and swallow up any smaller animal that lives close to his lair. Oddly enough, one attack seldom satisfies him, and an hour later he is hungry to attack again. The hippopotami, the castor roach. Oh my goodness. This is God, this is a great one. I wish I could read all of these, but I can't. I got to balance the time. But yeah, MAD's Nature Study Guide. This is fantastic. The snouted frog. Pompous obnoxious. The gamel. Yeah, so some of the, here, the tiny chimpanzee. The Powell cat. That one just killed me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, these are great. And I mean, it's the photography gags seldom get me. Usually it's because they're trying to do captions and it feels a little forced, but this is fantastic. I love that. The heart transplant. Again, like, I just wish Al Jaffe would have never stopped full-on cartoons. Just wish he would have never, ever. Like this. Like, look at that. Like, that's a thick boy, you know? But look at how well he prances about. That is, you can't really read it, but it says hospital bill. And now he's dropped dead. MAD's foreign film producer of the year. Again, like this ongoing gag of so-and-so of the year, insurance salesman of the year. There was another one that just happened, like oil tycoon of the year. I forget what it was. Auto salesman of the year. And so now we have Hollywood producer of the year. Who did the art on this? Artist Joe Orlando. That's the name that I feel like doesn't come up that much when it comes to like these longer form things. Yeah, I don't know. I like it, but it's just not all that spectacular. It doesn't have that same way of grabbing me that like Bob Clark does. Or, you know, like Mort Drucker can really grab your attention with his caricatures. These are just sort of professionally done. One day in the hospital. A lot of hospital stuff. So he's being told. He's in traction. He's being told of all of these. Look at the Chicago PD beating on the hippies. Saigon, and she takes her out. Nobody wants to hear that bad news. Get that out of here, Wendy. You know you're really... This is body shaming. It's not funny. You know you're really overweight when you're very often the case of mistaken identity at the beach. Pardon me, I had to get a drink of water. You know you're really overweight when you can make a sloppy knot in your tie and nobody notices the difference. Who wrote this? Jack Kent. Jack Kent is a real piece of work. You know you're really overweight when kids try to make you laugh so they can watch your tummy jiggle. Here we go. You know you're really overweight when you take off your belt and your pants don't fall down. You know you're really overweight when your wife is automatically assumed to be a great cook. It's a thyroid problem. She's not a great cook. You know you're really overweight when it takes less water to fill the bathtub than it used to. I just love it. I don't know. Like, is this is the type of thing which is, I find funny. But would this be punching down? That's something that's like come up a few times in interviews. The idea of like punching down. What is punching down? Has this guy just been punched down? You you're really overweight when you give up your seat to an old lady and two old ladies sit down. Oh my goodness. Oh, here we have Frank Jacobs. MAD's all-inclusive, do-it-yourself protest newspaper story. This is perfect. This is perfect. I'm going to go with the least offensive ones I can find. All right. The protest newspaper story. Let's see. 500 hippies, black militants, shouting students, 3 acid heads, angry mother, right-wing extremists, underpaid teacher, overpaid teachers, enraged Maoist, Mark Rudd, an old maid. Here we go. An old maid paraded through the girls' dorm in Haight-Ashbury today, protesting baths. I mean, so like this is what I kind of like about this is that he balances the sort of like serious with the absurd. The demonstration began after a bearded male was seized by an off-duty policeman. When police arrived, they were greeted by a shower of rocks and shouts of "Make love, not war." The police responded with nightsticks. Speaking over television this evening, the governor declared a state of emergency and called for calm. This obviously is still relevant, and unfortunately, I feel like this is. I know. The 60s were a pretty wild time with like a lot of violence across the country. And I wonder if this is a repeat. If you lived through the 60s, let me know in the comments. The lighter side of amusement parks. Sometimes I wonder what the lighter side of would be like if either somebody else drew it or somebody else wrote it. I don't know. Here we have Spy versus Spy. Wait, this is the first one we had this time. This doesn't make any sense. I'm like, what? This is just absurd. He's filming some TV. What's he up to? Follows the cord. He goes down, investigates. Well, there's an octopus on the television. No, there's an octopus in the television. Like, oh my goodness. Some greeting cards to the newlyweds we'd like to see. Artist Bob Clark. Yeah, that's who it is, Bob Clark. Writer Frank Jacobs. Idea David Hunter. Idea. Why are they giving credit for all of these ideas? But man, Frank Jacobs is knocking it out of the park. To our daughter, the bride. Let's zoom in on this one. Your wedding cost $2,000, as well as we can judge it. And though it was a sacrifice, we surely don't begrudge it. A costly wedding's something that a parent understands. We would have spent $1 billion just to get you off our hands. Look, doesn't she look like a brat too? Like, look at her, that look on her face. Look at them. And the pickle barrels. Dear honeymooners. Oh man, I want to talk to Frank Jacobs so much. Your wedding trip is over now. Your honeymoon is ended. We're sure you like your stop off here and found the weather splendid. By now you must be settled down with brand new home is started, with all those blankets, chairs, and lamps you stole when you departed. And finally to the young husband. We've Pepto-Bismol by the case. We've lots of Bromo fizzes. We've Rolaids, Tums, and Bizodol, and seltzers that are whizzes. We've pills for cramps and stomach pains most anywhere you're looking. So stock up now and be prepared for eating your wife's cooking. Oh, wives. Am I right? Wives are the best. Wait a second. Is that Nick Menglin? I think that is. One day at the sawmill. Oh my. This is I don't know why. Like, why does this work? I mean, like I feel like he does this often where it's like people huddled around a machine. I mean, it was just in this one. Last week there was one just like this too. And it's they have the contraptions and stuff and they're sewing. It's like, how many times has he drawn the same scene? It's a little absurd. But it works. Oh, look at this. Here we go again, gang, with another installment of our new series, which explores that hidden world where dedicated people are working tirelessly and secretly to make our lives miserable. This one is a mad peek behind the scenes at a laundry and dry cleaners with artist Jack Davis, which I predicted correctly based off this illustration. Thank you. And these are my favorite. These are my favorite no matter who's doing them. And especially, though, when you have somebody like Jack Davis. And I talked about this before, where it's like never waste a face. Now, he doesn't get too minute in this, but you can see like everybody has a face. Every single character has some unique visage, and they're so expressive. Like, look at this old guy. Let's just travel around here. Like, look at this. Okay, Bert, this dress is dead. No, George, your grammar is wrong. The past tense of die is died. You mean this dress is died. Take a look at the job we did on it, Bert. I mean, the dress is dead. All right, so maybe it's not the funniest one, but just look at all of this. I love this guy right here, the old dude, the bookkeeper or something. I think that is, it doesn't say on the pot, but I think that might be Arthur, the avocado. My favorite, though, are these eyes that he does. Just like those great big round eyeballs right there. I could just stare at him for hours. Like, even this guy, we're looking mostly at the back of his head, but it's like he has my attention, right? Like, I don't know. It's just, what has his attention? Oh, that old dog. Oh my gosh. Well, that truly is a peek behind the scenes. Bob Clark, artist, writer, Earl Dowd, appropriate comic strip sound effects, which is kind of funny because of all the wonderful sound effects that there are on, what do you call it? What is the word I'm looking for? Throughout MAD. Here we have, this is what's happening right now on Wall Street. Daddy Warbucks shorted GameStop and AMC. It's just like, it's not even appropriate. It's just literal sound effects, right? Like chump, flop, thug, clink. That's all right. I do like the illustrations, though. Here we have the heist. The heist? What? Oh, yeah, this was reprinted. That's why this looks familiar. I was panicking for a moment that I've already done this issue. This was reprinted in MAD 17, the farewell issue to Sergio Aragones. Here's the famous six-fingered hand pointing us in the next direction. So here we have the look at two graduating classes. Here's the graduating class of 1949, the graduating class of 1969. Howard J. Whitney, let's zoom in on these people. Howard J. Whitney, hometown, Akron, Ohio. Treasurer of the Library Club, organizer of the Zeta Beta Phi Psi Sunday School picnics, president of the K. Kaiser Campus Fan Club, Math Medal, ROTC Good Conduct Medal, voted boy most likely to be an accountant, ambition to become a CPA, marry the girl next door, have 3 children, and be the best jitterbug in Akron, Ohio. Let's see. Frig Stuyvesant. A senior class travel agent for LSD trips, campus representative of Mao Zedong, dean's office wrecking squad, captain of the Dow Chemical Campus Baiting Society, picketing and protesting honor roll, voted most conscientious objector. Ambition. After 4 years as an outstanding campus agitator at Fink, I hope someday to enroll in this school as a student. Oh my goodness. Campus fraternities. This is a real great group of guys at Alpha Beta Sig. All of us on campus are proud of them. They never cause trouble. They're very polite and they know their place, mainly 6 miles off campus. Standing left to right, Leroy, James, Willie, Amos, and Andy. God. Seated left to right, Jackson, Birmingham, Alabama, Lightning, and Sam. God damn it, guys. Here we have, here at Sigma, wait, what is this? All right, so once a segregated Negro ghetto fraternity set up by the white campus establishment, Beta Alpha Sig is now almost completely integrated with white Protestants seated left to right. Arnold Pure Jr., Daniel White Jr., William Anglo Jr., and Thomas Saxon Jr. Standing left to right, Pure Waverly Jr., White Lockhart Jr., Anglo McKeesick Jr., Saxon American Jr., and Stokely Brown. Who wrote this again? Who's responsible for this? Larry Siegel. Larry Siegel is pretty awesome. It is kind of interesting. Like, I don't know. I don't know my thoughts on this one. So, I can't read any more of it. Here we have the Matt Folden. His parents watch their children growing up in this modern, fast-changing world, sharing all of their joys and sorrows. There is one painful episode almost all of them can count on to discover what that misery is full page in has shown. A hair-raising experience. Here we have national monument we would like to see, the tomb of the unknown smoker. Here rests a smoker known but to God. So this has been Mad Magazine 128. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching. Toodaloo.